He's angry about mortgages. It's Angry Mortgage. He's swearing. He's cursing loud. He's old. He's opinionated. And he's been doing this so damn long. This program is about mortgages, and this is mortgage advice, but the advice may not apply to your situation. Contact licensed mortgage professionals for specific recommendations before you make decisions about mortgages. You may not agree with Ron, but if you don't, he thinks you're wrong. Oh, and did we say there is a lot of swearing?
Angry Mortgage is back. We're on
back.
The air. We're back.
We are back. I'm back.
You're back. Where's Natalie? Natalie, we actually taped these on the weekends, and Natalie had a combination of 2 different hockey things, a wedding, and it was a lot. So
messy. Yeah.
So
it's okay.
But Jan is who we want right now. You're it.
Yes.
Tell Nat's
I'm
back. You're back. All right. So we got a ton of stuff to cover in the show today. Like, this has been a Hellazpoppin week in mortgage and real estate world, I'll tell you. Jesus. Okay,
Things
there's
are
a
not
lot.
Looking good.
Well, they're not looking good, and there's a shit ton going on, that's for sure. So let's get started right away. We like to start on rates. Rate news could have gone up a little. It seems to have leveled off a bit, but we were worried. We were worried earlier in the week. The bond deals were going crazy. We've talked about the bond deals before on the show. That's what drives fixed rates. Nothing to do with variable. It's what drives fixed rates. And they were on a tear due to the U.S. Situation where they're, God damn, in the U.S. You know what mortgage rates are like in the U.S.?
Pennies compared to us.
No. They're huge.
Really?
They're worse than ours. Okay. Yeah, no way. This is wild.
I thought it was the other way around.
No, there's a lot of people have good rates. But if you want to get a mortgage, because they were like us, they had super low rates. The benefit of their super low rates in 2000 and 2001 is that their super low rates are for 30 years.
Right. I remember we talked about that. Yeah.
It's not a 5-year down there or a 3-year or anything like that. It's a 25 or a 30-year. So a lot of people have great rates, don't have to worry at all.
But they're stuck in their home.
They're stuck in their house. That's absolutely right. So... But if you want to buy a house or get a new house, or you want to move, or you want to buy a brand new construction home, it hit 8%. Holy Jesus. Okay.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild.
But they don't have the stress test the way we do, right?
They don't, but 8% real payments? I mean, hold on. Thank God. For the beauty of the States really is that almost everywhere you go, with the exception of, say, San Francisco, LA, New York, Miami, every place else,
it's affordable.
it's affordable in a lot of places. Like, if you want to go to Texas,
it's dirt cheap in Texas.
Really affordable.
Yeah,
it's super affordable. You want to go to parts of Florida that aren't for tourists. Like, you want to go to Tallahassee. Pretty goddamn cheap. Most of the Gulf states are really cheap. New Mexico's okay. Some places are expensive. Like Phoenix can be a little high. California high, but. If you're willing to live in, if you're happy to live in Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, I think the price of houses in Pittsburgh is pretty goddamn low. I think you buy a beautiful house for $249.
Yeah.
Okay, it's so yes, but still 8%.
That's pretty rough.
Well, it shocks everybody, right? Like, wait a second, 2 years ago it was 2.99. Now it's 8. What the fuck? Okay,
yeah,
it's shocking. We're going to talk about that in a minute too. We're going to talk about buyer sentiment. But we thought rates may come up this week, but then the bond yields fell off a bit. So it looks like it's just stay the course right now. Like, it doesn't look like it's going up, doesn't look like it's going down. And the not looking like it's going down is important. We're going to talk about that every week. Because the going down is the key, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's the goal.
That's the goal. That's the hope. That's the hope of everybody who's got a renewal. And everybody who's got a mortgage eventually gets a renewal.
Of course.
And that's going to, in 25 and 26, like 2025, 2026, there's a ton of renewals.
People are going to feel it.
52% of all mortgages renew in those 2 years.
Oh.
25 and 26. So it's real. It's absolutely real. All right. So what is big coming this week? It's Wednesday. Tuesday, the day the tomorrow, podcast comes out, and so does the Bank of Canada announcement. And what is the prediction?
What is it?
Well,
what's your prediction?
I do have a prediction, even though I hate prediction. I just relentlessly tell everybody that prediction is just a crap business. Like, it's just, I mean...
Expand on that. Why would you say that's a crap business?
Because, even really highly skilled and highly trained experts don't get stuff right very much. Okay, here's an example. If you take the top economists in Canada, like the bank economists, like they're the top paid guys, right?
Yeah.
They better be. It's a bank, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the bank's got the money, so they are the top paid. They're supposed to be the experts,
Right.
okay? The average is all the same. They're only right half the time. Now, half is better than wrong all the time,
Right.
but it's also a goddamn coin flip, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to make fun of these guys. They're experienced guys. I know a few of them. They're good. They do their absolute best.
Yeah.
Okay. But if it's only right half the time, I mean, so that's my trouble with prediction.
Yeah.
Trouble with prediction is that there's always going to be something hidden. There's always
Right.
going to be something you didn't know. For instance, let's take the Bank of Canada, for instance. We know that he talks to other central bankers. He talks to the guy at the U.S. Fed.
Mm-hmm.
He talks to the European Central Bank people. He talks to people. Because that's their job, right? They're
Right.
supposed to be part of a community of bankers who talk to each other. They run their country's central banks. They talk to each other. What if he's being told something that none of us know? Like something secret. I don't know. Who the hell knows?
I mean, probably.
No, I don't know. Maybe not. Okay. All I'm saying is you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't have any idea. He could be talking to Jerome Powell, the U.S. Fed chairman, who says, no, I'm going to go hard. I'm going to go another 0.5%. Now, I'm not sure that he tells the Canadian central banker that. I don't think Tiff Macklin, I don't think Tiff Macklin really knows that, right? I mean, like, oh, yes, Jerome, can you tell me exactly what your plans are for the next 3 months? Who the fuck are you? No, I don't know if that happens. That probably doesn't happen. They're probably very friendly, but, I don't know.
Who knows what goes down? Yeah.
But that's my point. My point about prediction is there's a lot of stuff you will never, ever understand. And comes out years later or just shows up and you say, oh, that's why they did that. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why I hate prediction. And here's the other thing I hate about it. The world loves prediction. Like everyone, all the time on social media. What is your prediction, Ron? What's the prediction? And then there's all these other yahoos who come on like, this is my prediction, or I know for sure, or this is what's going to happen. I guarantee you. Oh my God. I mean, fuck, don't have a fucking clue. But here's my call on the Bank of Canada. No change. So why do I think that? It's like this. And we're going to talk about this in the pod. I think the recession is showing up.
It's heading in the right direction for sure.
Oh, you mean
like not?
That's not a good direction.
It's not a good direction, but it is a right direction considering that the goal is for everything to come down.
Yeah,
right?
You're right. You're actually completely right. If this is the plan that the central bank has, if the central bank's plan is I'm going to raise rates, cause unemployment, cause economic pain, cause economic depression, that's a recession. Like, I mean, if everybody can't spend because they're out of work, inflation comes down.
Yeah.
It's that simple. So you're right. That's what I think is coming. I think that's coming. And if I think that, chances are the Bank of Canada governor thinks that. No, you don't know what I really think, you fat fuck. Okay. I'm not sure if Tiff swears. I'm not really sure. But I mean, if he does, he probably is. By the way, I don't think he knows one tiny thing about me. Okay. I'm so sure about that. I mean, I'm so sure that he doesn't, nobody, there is an angry something? What you're talking about? He doesn't know. He doesn't know. He doesn't care. He doesn't want to know. I mean,
he's got bigger fish to fry.
Or just not interested, okay? Or just, you think I care what people think? With
the amount of shout outs on this show, he should.
He does not. He does not know. He does not know us from a hole in the ground, and I just don't think he thinks that way. But yeah, I think the recession is showing up, and I think Tiff Macklin could tell the recession is showing up. Like if you've got big announcements of bank layoffs, layoffs at banks, other slowdowns. There's a lot of economic measures. So I get it. Sometimes a job report comes out, says there's a lot of new jobs.
Yeah.
But sometimes I believe the Canadian, I got like the guys on the Looney Hour, who are great guys. It's a great podcast. Everybody should listen to the Looney Hour. They call the jobs report the random number generator. Okay. Like it's just like the magic 8-ball. I mean, it's just like spin the wheel at the county fair. I mean, like it's just who the hell knows whether it's right or wrong. But listen, I think we've got sure signs that there's going to be growing unemployment. I think it's on the horizon. Could be wrong. Could just be about real estate and banks, but I think there's a chance that it's not going to be great.
Right.
And if that's true, then TIF sees his mission accomplished, right? I mean, the Bank of Canada sees their missions accomplished. So why we don't need to raise rates anymore. Now, there's the issue if the U.S. raises consistently, if the United States Federal Reserve goes ahead, and their meetings are on Halloween. So that's
spooky.
Still to come. Spooky. Still to come. But here's the deal. If they commit to continued rate increases, eventually our bank gets sucked along with it.
We follow suit, of course.
We got currency issues we have to think about. We got a bunch of other reasons. I mean, we're tied at the hip to the United States. So, but we'll see. But right now, I think there's enough reason for the Bank of Canada to think they may have done their job and the economy is slowing. I think they could pass. And that's why my prediction is, even though I hate prediction, my prediction is no increase.
And is this the last one for the year?
No, I think, no, because
there's one more,
there's
right?
one more this year, but I think it's very late in the year. I think it's like almost close to Christmas or something.
Right before Christmas.
Yeah,
okay.
because they have a schedule of every 6 weeks. Every 6 weeks. So if we're having one at the end of October, there's got to be one in December. It's going to skips November. It's got to be one in December. So there's still one more for the end of the year. He could raise at the end of the days then. Things could be different in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Things are different than they were 6 weeks ago. So, so that's for sure. So I want to talk about something that that you and I and all of us in this business, whether it be in the real estate side or the mortgage side, are certainly seeing, is a general slowdown in sales activity.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yes.
Okay. It's bad.
So I think that's something that is sometimes referred to as buying sentiment. That's what does the public think? And by the way, people like the Bank of Canada study this stuff. They study about consumer sentiment, how people feel about things, okay?
Yeah.
And I think consumer sentiment on real estate has really cooled off. I think it's, you remember they used to talk about FOMO all the time?
Yeah, fear of missing out.
Fear of missing out. I'm starting to think that's turned into FOOP.
FOOP?
FOOP. F-O-O-P. FOMO is F-O-M-O. FOOP is not poop, folks. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Ron, what are you up to now? But no, I'm thinking it's FOOP. Fear of overpaying. Fear of overpaying. Because here's what happens. If you think prices are going to come down, you think you hear the stories about real estate problems, real estate slowdown. Maybe you think, well, I should wait. Prices will get lower. I shouldn't go now. Because fear of missing out is when prices are rising, holy shit, I better grab one before they're all gone. Okay?
Exactly, yeah.
But when you hear sales are really slow, you think, well, maybe there's no point in grabbing anything. I'll wait till it's a lot cheaper. Okay? Yeah. So I think that's sort of what we're up to right now. We're in a phase of people because I don't know if you noticed this, but we've had all these conditions of sale. So, in the old days of multiple bids, when people bought a house, they were condition free. There was no subjects. It was just condition freeze. Here, I got to give you a $300,000 deposit, and I'm bidding you up to, you're listed for 1.5. I'm going to bid you up to 1.7. I'm going to hope I'm going to get it. No conditions, no nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, apart from very, very special houses in very special neighborhoods and, sought after places and right in the heart of 416 or right in the most exclusive places in Vancouver.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen anymore. There's there's very, very few multiple bids. And mostly sometimes there's no bid. Sometimes the house is listed and it just people come and there's a few showings and nothing happens. Okay, so that's what's happening today. What I think happens now, and we've seen it, is lots of conditions when there is an offer. There's a financing condition, there's an inspection condition. What's a house inspection? So a house inspection is that the buyer hires somebody to really do a thorough check of the house, structure, all the things about it. If you've never seen an inspection report, folks, it's deep. It's like 45 pages.
Every nook and cranny is checked.
Everybody, it's the guy sticks his head in the attic. He runs around the basement and got this moisture sniffer machine that's looking for moisture in the basement. There's a lot. Okay, they do a lot. They climb up on the roof. They do a ton. Okay, and that's a house inspection, and you get this huge report. And a house inspection condition is long because you got to book the inspection, right? And a house inspection condition is 100% for the buyer's benefit. If the buyer doesn't like anything on that report,
they can negotiate,
or they can say, "Don't want to do it.
Yeah,
I'm backing out. Give him a deposit back."
Exactly.
And they get their deposit back because it's a real thing. It's a real contract. So now what we think we're seeing now is, because there's a lot of inspection clauses, there's tons, okay? But almost every single sale that we see, purchase that we see, it has an inspection clause. They use that as a extra cooling off period. What do I mean by that? Well, if you've got 5, 6, or 7 days to have that inspection, you can also sit back and think about whether you really want to buy this house. Because here's what I'll tell you about an inspection report. You know those 40 pages? And sometimes you see them come through, right? You see their long, long reports.
Oh, yeah.
And there's always something, right? There's always, and sometimes it's not much. It's like, well, we think this downspout for your eaves is not quite long enough, okay? I mean, like, it's small, all right?
Yeah.
But there's always something.
Yeah,
like, I've never seen an inspection report that didn't say, hey, there's a bunch of things wrong with this.
Yeah.
Not much, not major, but we think there's a bunch of things wrong. Tiny things, okay? Okay, well, that's an out.
Yeah.
You as a buyer, you got 100%.
Leverage.
Your choice.
Yeah.
So you can either ask for, there's a bunch of little things here. We think you should knock another $5,000 off the price.
Yeah. Even though it only cost me like $1,000, but
it's your choice, right?
Yeah.
You can walk away. Okay.
Exactly.
You can walk away. So there's that, and there's just you know what? For the last 7 days, I've been studying MLS on that sort of house that we put an offer in on, and I think we can get a better deal.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to use this story of the paint chipped off in the corner over here. I'm going to use that one to just walk.
Yeah.
Because you can. Yeah. It's 100% buyer condition. If you don't like one thing that's said, there's no discussion. It's over.
Yeah.
Okay? And I'll tell you what, we've seen in the last 8 weeks, we've seen more people use this inspection as either a way to get out of the deal completely, get out of the purchase completely, or ask for significant price reduction.
Yeah.
We've seen more of that in 8 weeks than we've seen in the last 2.5 years.
Wow.
But it's kind of the way the market goes, right? Like if
history repeats itself always.
Oh yeah, because there was a time when we saw it before. We just didn't see it since 2000. Okay.
Wow.
Well, it was the hot time in 2000, 2021. Oh my God, 2021. Holy shit, that was busy. And first quarter of 2022, super busy. Prices were at their apex. But so we're seeing that. That's absolutely happening. So the mortgage market's changing.
Yeah.
And the real estate market's changing. You know, I think we're going to see, when we get the October numbers in for Ontario house sales, I think we're going to see the lowest sales in 25 years. You
know what? I think so too. Just because lately with customers, I've seen a lot of people just kind of back off when it comes to new purchases.
Yep.
The majority of clients that I'm talking to are just all renewals or refinance.
Yep, absolutely true.
No one's like, the amount of people who are like, oh, never mind, I changed my mind, I'm not purchasing anymore. But you put in the request yesterday to have someone talk to us. You can see that people are just on edge when it comes to purchasing.
Yep, 100%.
I mean, your prediction's right there.
Well, I mean, I think we'll see October numbers that are unbelievably low. Here's why they're really unbelievably low. Because when I talk about something that's the lowest in 25 years, there's 3 million more people in this province.
That's very concerning. That's what's concerning, is that how is there more people, but yet less people can afford a home?
Well, we know why there's less people. Between rates and prices, it's a problem.
Yeah.
But like what this tells me is that we had the bank announcements last week. I'm not going to focus on any one bank because they're all laying people off.
Yeah.
But there were all kinds of major announcements. Some of them do it all at once. Some of them just go ahead and take the publicity hit. Right. They just do it all at once. They say, okay, we're going to do one big layoff. Okay, we're going to announce it. We're going to lay off 2,600 people worldwide, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Take one publicity hit and then and some do it like literally like 100 at a time. Like they do it like
gradually.
But they do it like 15 times, okay? Or they do some 200, some this and that.
Yeah.
But here's what we know. Every single bank in Canada is reducing headcount. There's going to be less people there.
They have to.
Well, there's a lot of argument about that because the first thing people say is, wait a second. These big five banks, they make like billions of dollars in profits, okay? What's going on here? Well, it's simple. If they're less busy, they don't need the same number of people. So.
Exactly.
And there's less mortgages being written. There's less car loans being written. I mean, heck, Bank of Montreal, they closed their whole car loan division, got closed.
Wow.
Just shut it down. So there's less car loans. There's a lot less mortgages. There's a lot less to do.
Yeah.
So they lay people off. It's that simple.
But it's unfortunate, but
it's damn unfortunate.
It's just how the cookie crumbles, I guess.
Well, I feel it a little. I don't work for a bank, but I feel sorry because this is what I know. I know they let go of the old people first.
Oh no!
I've been around big corporations for a long time, and the reality is that the people who are in their 50s, oh God, like that. For me, I'm so old that's starting to seem like okay, youngish, okay. But for people in their 50s, let's face it, there's more medical costs in general, not for everybody, but there's all these companies run good plans, right?
Yeah.
You got coverage for drugs and all kinds of things. And that's expensive for older people. There's older people who have more disabilities. These big companies have disability coverage, okay?
More accommodations.
More all that stuff.
Yeah.
And finally, old people in their 50s, they may have some good wisdom, but they may also wear out, okay? And let's face it, they're not cutting edge when it comes to the social media or the computers or new programs. They're
not as versatile because of that, right?
Well, you even observe it with me. Like sometimes I fight change, right? Sometimes I fight change. I mean, I try to do my best, but like we're old people. A lot of us don't like change much. So and by the way, here's the other horrible part about people in their 50s at a bank. They're probably higher paid than the people in their 20s, right? Like they're making more money, so let them go.
I know.
So I feel a little bad about that because like...
It's sad. It's sad regardless. Anybody losing a job is sad.
It's sad. And here's the extra reason that it's sad is that if all the banks are laying off, that means none of them are hiring. So if you're a lifetime banker and you're laid off, you don't have any place to go.
Yeah. And it's not ideal for a time to do a career switch either.
No, not the best. No.
Yeah.
So look, when we talk about layoffs, I want everybody to know this. When we talk about layoffs, and sometimes it sounds clinical and like we're just discussing people losing their jobs, like it's just a statistic. But no, it's shitty. It's really fucking shitty.
It is.
Okay, that's reality. So,
especially in this economy, the cost of living and everything. Losing your job right now.
Yeah.
It's tough out here.
No. So the other thing is, I think it's pretty fair to say, and we talked about it earlier in the show, I think it's fair to say for the real estate industry, the mortgage industry, the fucking recession is on.
Oh, it's here.
It's here. Okay.
Yeah.
Like I talked to some, I was at a wedding on the weekend. There were a bunch of real estate people there because the groom's family's in real estate. I talked to some other real estate folks and other mortgage folks last week because I'm kind of interested in how people's opinions were.
Yeah.
And it's fucking awful. Okay. Like, it's awful. Like, I talked to one woman, very successful, long-time successful real estate team, very successful team in, the Hamilton area. She's gone from like 45 agents to like 12.
Wow.
Now, they haven't all just quit. Like, they haven't all just gone off and, become, like, they haven't just doing something totally different. But like, what happens is because she's had to cut down team leaders in the real estate business, really they're the source of advertising, right? They bring in the business. They do use systems to bring in the business. And she's just had to cut down her advertising spend. So a bunch of tons of her agents who, like, I think some of them are just not working. Okay. They gone, they're waiters in the keg now. That was a post I read just this morning about how a friend of mine got a free dessert at the keg only because his waiter was, he's a guy who's got a podcast too. And he's mortgage guy's got a podcast. So I watch your podcast. I'm a realtor. And Vince says, you're a waiter right now. You're the waiter in the keg. I mean, like, here's a free dessert because I love the stuff you're doing because I am a realtor. You're a realtor waiter? Let's go. So anyway,
poor thing.
There may be people who've just sort of put their real estate careers on pause. But for people who are really dedicated to real estate, I mean, they get tempted to go to somebody else, somebody who may tell them that, well, we're going to keep advertising. But the truth is nobody can keep advertising. If
homes are not being sold.
Not if there's no action.
Yeah.
If there's no home sales, or home sales are down 50%, 60%. There's no magical cure for that, right? I mean,
like at least we can survive off renewals. We did a
little bit of refinance. Although let's face it, not everybody wants to go from 2.49 to 6.49. I mean, like,
definitely not. But I feel like a lot of people are really stuck on keeping their homes.
Yeah.
Right. Like when you're a homeowner, you will do whatever it takes to try and keep your home.
You're exactly right. It's 100% true. And that means that there might be refinance, there might be adding a line of credit if possible, there's some kind of activity for mortgage brokers. It's reduced, absolutely, when there's, I think, as I say, in Ontario, I think real estate purchases are going to be way, way down for now and the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
And that means less mortgages, let's face it. And there's still people are renewing. Like I said, there's going to be...
It'll keep us afloat.
Keep us going. It's going to be hard time, a bit harder, but we're an old company. We got lots of clients. But if there's I don't care if you're the greatest realtor on earth. Okay. If there's 65% less deals happening, I mean, that's just not good. Okay. I mean, like I say, we could do other things besides purchase in the mortgage business, but there's only one thing in the real estate business. That's it. So purchases or leases. And if neither of those things are happening, it's a fucking real estate apocalypse. Okay.
No, actually.
It's tough. And again, I want to emphasize, I want to say this meaningfully. I'm not happy that people are out of work or have their commissions have gone to zero because everybody in the real estate business is on commission, basically 100%. Mind you, there's the stagers, the photographers, and the everybody else involved, the real estate lawyers.
It's a domino effect.
It's a domino effect, 100% right. And I am sorry for all those people in that position. By the way, let me say this. There's a shit ton of people in social media who are not sorry. Okay, there it is. Sorry, not sorry. Okay, like, I mean, seriously.
Social media is ruthless.
Oh, ruthless. When I post this stuff up about how slow things are, fuck those real estate agents. Fuck those mortgage brokers. Like, wait a minute, I'm a mortgage broker. No, fuck you too. Like, seriously.
They have one bad experience and then that's it.
They go wild. But it's not just that. They made so much fucking money in 2021. Fuck them all. They should have saved their money. Like, I mean, why are you mad? Like, I don't understand. Like, why are you mad? You're mad that people... Now, I get it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, some people blame real estate agents for the high price of houses. Okay. They blame mortgage brokers for the high price of rates. I don't know. People like to blame shit.
That's what works in their mind.
Absolutely. And, and let's face it, there's occasionally been revealed some There's bad mortgage brokers do bad things.
Yeah.
And there's some real estate agents lie to their clients. Okay. Sadly. Okay.
It happens.
It does happen. Majority are good, honest people, professional people, and I think people sometimes are just people who don't own a home and want to own a home are just mad at the industry.
Yeah.
They're mad at everybody.
I'm mad at the industry.
There you go. You're mad too. You don't know. Yeah, exactly.
I don't own a home. I want to own a home, but I'm fucked.
Yeah, that's it. And people get angry. But social media, folks on social media, probably don't need to hate everybody that much.
No.
I mean, it's probably unnecessary. But yeah, I get the sentiment. I understand it. But we're faced with it's happening. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'll give you a great example. There's another story happened last week, I should say, that is really, really interesting, and it's really illustrative of what's going on. There is a famous condo building, development downtown. It's on 1 King West. Now, sorry.
Bloor West, no?
1 Bloor West. Sorry.
Yeah.
1 Bloor West. There is a 1 King West too, but there's this 1 Bloor West. So 1 Bloor West, they just call it the one. Okay. Like a little bougie, right?
Just a tad.
Just a tad. Okay. The one. Okay. Like, please, Jesus. But biggest building in Toronto. They got approval to add an extra 5 stories to 85 to go to 90-story building.
Jesus.
At a prime address. Like, for folks who don't live in the Toronto area, Bloor Street is considered to be prime space.
Yeah.
Okay. 1 Bloor West, famous announcement, the biggest Apple store in the world on the main floor. Biggest square footage Apple store. A friend of ours actually still works at the site. The site isn't closed yet. Still works at the site.
Yeah.
And he said, Ron, that is the biggest goddamn Apple store. They have 50-foot ceilings in this place. It's like a cathedral. It's a cathedral to Apple, for Christ's sake. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's a shrine. It's an Apple shrine. He says,
that's insane.
It's so big. And he's an electrician, so he says, we've run so much wire. I mean, they're going to be able to light the world on fire at that place if they want. There's so much juice going into that place. It's unbelievable.
That's crazy.
Unbelievable. And like it's a store, huge Apple store, anchor tenant. Biggest in the world, and then they're going to have some offices, and then they're going to have a hotel for some of the floors. Okay, going to be a hotel there, and then finally condos. The most expensive condos you could imagine because it's the one.
The one.
Okay, like they were selling. There were 4 penthouses, like 4 corners. It's the tallest building, so you can see everywhere, right? I think they were like duplexes or triplex. They were like 2 levels or 3 levels, 4 stories. Anyway, huge penthouses. The list price, I think, was $38 million. Like, this is all luxury all the time.
Yeah.
The guy who developed it is a guy named Mizrahi, and his claim to fame, he's not really a famous developer at all of condo buildings, but his claim to fame was luxury homes.
Right.
So this was a big transition to him. Let me cut to the chase. It went broke last week, okay? It went into receivership, okay? The whole place went into receivership.
Explain receivership for me.
Sure. So it's like this. When a company can't pay its bills, like a human can go bankrupt, right? If you can't pay your bills, you can go bankrupt, okay? But if a business can't pay their bills, they have to go into receivership because there's money still coming in. There might be money in trust for condo deposits.
Right.
There's contractors who are in the middle of working on the building still. Like there's workers on the site. I mean, you can't just say, well, I'm bankrupt now. Goodbye. And this is what lenders do. So if you're the first position lender, like you're the main lender, you're the person who has the first mortgage on that place.
Yeah.
Then you want to put it into receivership because, and they did. It's the first mortgage holder who put it into receivership because you say, I don't need $1 million lawsuits from the there'll still be lawsuits, but I don't need this contract. I don't need money being spent without my permission.
Yeah.
I don't need I got to get control of this thing,
right?
Because here's the deal. This is going to be wild. They've gone through $1.6 billion. Oh yeah,
and it's not done yet.
Not even fucking close. Okay, not even. They haven't even started my friends told me. My friends told me they haven't even started the condo thing yet. The condo levels aren't even started yet.
So they're still working on the Apple Store?
No, the Apple Store's done, and some of the office space is done, and half the outside of the hotel's pretty much done. But no, they haven't even started the condo floors yet. Okay.
Jesus.
Oh yeah, one. So I mean, I could go into a long. We could take a whole podcast on the fuckery of this crazy the one. Yeah, the fuckery of the one. But it's all over now.
So what happened to the people's down payments?
Well, people have given deposit, but not much. Like they didn't sell anywhere near 80% of the condos. Not even close. Okay, that was another problem, which sort of you gotta scratch your head and ask the question, how the hell that happened? But yeah, I mean, in theory, it could be in trust, but we gotta wait for lawyers to unravel this. Okay, we're gonna have to wait. Okay.
Wow.
Now it brings up the question of how did it happen? Well, first of all, the main developer never developed anything but luxury homes and a couple tiny condo buildings before, and he jumped right to the biggest thing in the history of Canada. Okay, like that's too much. In other words, the people who are highly experienced at building tons and tons of big condo projects didn't want to do it. It's too much. Okay. Oh, and by the way, every bank who gave them mortgage money, gave them financing to build, no Canadian banks did it. No Canadian lender. All offshore.
That makes sense.
Well,
They understood. They knew.
The local people knew. No, shit, no. I'm not touching this with a pole, a long 10-foot pole. This is shit. Okay.
Yeah.
But somehow, I think the banks, these banks from offshore sort of fell into the, well, if it's going to be the flagship Apple store, it's got to be good. Like, Apple's really smart. So, I mean, I think we can throw them a $1 billion mortgage and a few other guys throw in more. And
sounds like that was the hook.
Yeah, I think that was the hook. Now, looks like Apple will actually back out in the end. Okay, because they tried to get out, and apparently a judge said no, you can't, because it's 8 years and it's not even close, right? Like it was supposed to be open by now, or open like early next year. Okay, all finished. Not even close. Okay, so the Apple tried to say, well, fuck it, we're never going to close, so we're out. And then a judge said, no, you got to give them 2 more years, but the 2 more years is up next year, so it's not even close. So
yeah.
So what's going to happen? Is it just going to be like a bunch of concrete hanging in the air? Maybe. Okay. I mean, it's obviously in that bank's interest, that foreign bank's interest to finish, but I don't know. I don't know if they're going to finish. I couldn't tell you.
That's crazy.
It's going to be an unfolding story of fuckery. Okay.
Yeah.
Like and there's just basically everybody in Toronto who's in that world of development has been saying for 2 years, this is doomed. This is just hopeless. It's never gonna work. Too many cost overruns. Now, there's some things they couldn't control.
Right.
Construction costs through the roof. COVID happened. Still construction costs are through the roof. And then financing. Like the financing on the loans are all related to prime rate. So they've tripled in the last 20 months, right? So it was poorly conceived to start with. But then everything else went wrong.
And then shit hit the fan.
Stuff that was out of their control worked against them. But $1.6 billion on an unfinished building. Okay, like it's wild.
Big yikes.
All right, I got a couple of rants coming up I got a mini rant before the big rant. Okay. The fucking Landlord and Tenant Board in Ontario.
Can I say it?
Go ahead.
What the actual fuck?
Well, this is actual what the actual fuck. A, we're gonna do the big one. B in a minute, okay? But yeah, like I'm mad at that Landlord and Tenant Board. You told me a story about one of your friends. What happened? Tell me that story.
So she was served an N12. Basically, her landlord's like,
tell us what an N12 is, okay?
So basically, I think it is when your landlord serves you a paper of eviction because a family's going to move in.
Right, which is allowed, yeah, if your family moves in.
Right.
But sometimes it ain't really family moving in.
That's not what happened. So she served the M12. She's like, okay, fine, I'll move. She moves down the street. And mind you, she works in retail leasing, okay? So she's familiar with, real estate and all that jazz. She's keeping her eye on the market, and lo and behold, she sees her old apartment listed for sale 2 weeks after she moves out.
Wait a second. So, and did she have a good deal at the place?
Oh, she was under market. She was way under market for her apartment.
So she's way under market. What did she have to pay a lot more when she switched?
Yeah, she's at like probably $1,000 more monthly now in her rent. Yeah.
And she discovered that no fucking family moved in. Like, that was a lie.
The condo was staged and everything.
Everything. So it was just
14 days on the dot. It's up for sale.
Jesus Christ. That is just an utter lie. Okay?
Yeah.
Utter lie. So I'm going to talk about Landlord and Tenant Board really quick because it's just awful. And I've talked about it before on the show, but like, it's just awful. It's awful. It's like, they don't work very hard. Like, most of the time you can't go in it. Like, if you want to actually go down and talk to somebody,
it's like a 12-month wait.
It's locked. Okay. Everything takes 12 months to just do anything. Landlords are also totally fucked. Okay. Tenant stops paying. Good luck getting them out. Like, good fucking luck.
Honestly.
It's just sheer insanity. Rules need to change. Board needs to get cleaned up. You know, there's no reason you can't look at things in 3 or 4 weeks. There's just no reason. Staff it up. Hey, Doug Ford, wake up! Premier of Ontario, wake the fuck up. Although I'm told, sometimes when I go on about this, I'm told all across Canada it's just bad, okay? Particularly in BC, apparently is not much better, okay? So it's bad. It's bad for tenants, bad for landlords, very bad for landlords, not fair to tenants. Wake the fuck up.
You need balance. Because
we need efficiency.
Yeah.
We need people who are actually doing the job. Okay.
Yep.
This is bad. It's bad for housing. Like, I ran a post on this in social media, and literally 100 people said, I was a landlord and I'm either sold it or I just leave it empty for now because I can't handle how screwed up this landlord and tenant board is. And
a lot of people are traumatized from what has happened with, you know, having a bad tenant or having a bad landlord. Like, it's messy.
All true.
It's really
messy. Emotionally destructive.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right. So this comes to the number 1 primary.
What the actual fuck?
We're here now. Okay. We're here. We had with the preview, what the actual fuck, and now we're doing the main line, what the actual fuck. So what the actual fuck is going on with provincial and federal governments in Canada? They're spending money on ads. They're going from coast to coast on road trips. They got Sean Fraser, Minister of Housing, might be a great guy. I've listened to him speak. I've studied some of the stuff he's done. He's a very smart guy. But there is a level of bullshit going on that's astronomical. Like, I don't know if I'm old, so instead of just watching everything on my phone, I watch TV sometimes, right? So I'm watching this show called CP24, which is all like the news. It's the news. It's like the weather, the news, the sports scores. It's all that stuff. It's like a scroll. And every once in a while, it pops up at the bottom of this TV channel. Provincial government, Doug Ford government, we're building 1.5 million new homes. Golly, okay? Like, oh, folks, we're building 1.5 million new homes. We're fucking paying for that shit as taxpayers. Now, I got news for you. Everybody out in podcast land, listen to me. Everybody on the YouTube channel, listen to me. We're not building these fucking homes, okay? It's a fucking lie, and our tax dollars are going to promote this complete fucking lie. Here's the truth. 2021 was the top new construction year in Canada. So there was less new homes started of all types in 2022. This year, there's going to be less homes started than 2022. So that's much less than 2021.
Yeah.
And I am going to, I don't even have to make a prediction. This is just analysis, okay? In 2024, there's going to be less homes still. Like, we're never getting back to the number in 2021. We're having obvious reasons.
Yeah.
The fucking mortgage costs are through the roof, which means the financing costs for the builders are through the roof. And there's uncertainty about whether people will be able to get a mortgage. So the builder just says, fuck it. I'm going to wait until things are better.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Okay. So here we got the housing minister flying all over Canada. He's on his social media. He's now put on a hard hat. He's got a hard hat. And he's got one of those construction vests on with the orange fluorescent shit. Hey, look at me, I'm building houses. Fuck you! You're not building any houses. There's less. I got the Housing Accelerator Fund. I'm going across Canada. Holy shit, dude. That might be the only houses built, for fuck's sake, is the Housing Accelerator Fund. And Doug Ford, oh, golly, folks, look at this. We're going to build 1.5. All a fucking lie. It's a lie. You can't say there's going to be lots of new homes. Like, we're going to conquer this problem. And there's less Housing starts every year.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a technical term for that in economists have. The technical term is fucking bullshit. It's the technical. You're saying we're going to build all these new homes. There's no starts.
Yeah.
Your taxpayers are paying Sean Fraser to fly all over fucking Canada with his hard hat on and his fluorescent fucking construction vest. Okay. We're going to do this. We're going to build. Doug Ford, we're going to build. Fuck all new starts. Fuck all. Okay. So that's my shout out. What the actual fuck? Don't tell us there's going to be more homes when there's less homes.
Prove it.
Prove it. Like, build the fuckers. Okay. Don't lie. Stop lying. Oh, and stop lying on taxpayer dollars. All right. We'll see you next week, folks.
Bye.
If you like the pod, well, don't just sit there. Go to YouTube, Apple, Spotify, and all the other ones and like the pod. And don't forget to subscribe so we can keep being angry at mortgages and swearing about mortgages. Angry Mortgage could use your support.